This is not a story. It is a record from 1514 to 1866. Ships carried more than 12 million African people across the Atlantic. Nearly 2 million never reached land. These are the facts.
They call the cross in the Middle Passage. The journey took 6 to 10 weeks.
Some voyages lasted longer than that.
No daylight reached the lower deck. Floating tombs of the Atlantic.
Wooden ships filled with chained human beings. Bodies dropped in the salt water by the thousand. The ocean floor still holds their bones. Yeah. The transatlantic slave trade ran for more than 300 years. European ships sailed from ports in Britain, Portugal, France, and Spain. They bought captured Africans. On the western coast of the continent, the voyage to the Americas covered around 5,000 miles. Men were chained in pairs, right leg to left leg. Each person was given about 16 inches of space. They were laid side by side on bare wooden planks. The traders called this method tight packing. More bodies on the ship meant more money at the sail. Women and children were held in separate parts of the ship. The lower deck had little air, no light, no room. People could not stand, turn, or lie flat for days. Crews forced captives on deck to move their limbs and keep their value. They call this practice dancing with slaves.
They call the cross in the Middle Passage. The journey took 6 to 10 weeks. Some voyages lasted longer than that. No daylight reached the lower deck. Floating tombs of the Atlantic.
Wooden ships filled with chained human beings.
Bodies dropped in the salt water by the thousand.
The ocean floor
Still holds their bones.
Disease that spread fast in the heat and the filth. Dysentery was the most common killer on board. The crews called it the bloody flux. The sick lay in their own waste in the dark. Smallpox, measles, and scurvy killed thousands more. There was little food and the water was dirty. On average, about 15 in every 100 captives died at sea. On the worst voyages, the number was far higher. When the captive died, the body was thrown into the ocean. Sharks followed the ships for the whole crossing. Crews also threw living sick people overboard. Some captives refused to eat to end their lives. Crews forced their mouths open with an iron tool. In November 1781, the crew of the ship zoned through 132 enslaved people into the sea. They did it to claim insurance, money on the loss.
16 inches of wood, 10 weeks of dark.
2 million lives ended before the land. This happened.
It was written down.
The survivor Laude Equiano wrote down what he saw on board. Abolitionists drew the ship Brooks to show how bodies were packed. The records are kept in archives, ledgers, and ship's logs today. The numbers come from the traders' own paperwork, not from guesses. They were not cargo. They were people with names. They had families, languages, religions, and homes. They came from many nations across West and Central Africa. The ocean did not take the men, put them there for profit. The traders
Kept careful records of every sale and loss. We read those same records now to count the dead.
We say this plainly, so it is
Not forgotten.
From 1514 to 1866, the ships kept sailing. More than 12 million African people boarded them. Nearly 2 million died before they ever saw land. The bodies
are spread across the floor of the Atlantic.
These are the floating tombs of the ocean. This is the record, read it, remember it.
Say that number out loud. Say that number out loud.
They chained black ancestors beneath slave ships for weeks across the Atlantic darkness. Disease, screams, and death filled the air, while millions never reached the shore alive. European slave traders packed human beings shoulder to shoulder below wooden decks. Men, women, and children could barely breathe in the heat and rot. The voyage lasted 6 to 10 weeks across the Atlantic Ocean. Bodies weakened from starvation, dehydration, and constant sickness. The smell of blood, vomit, sweat, urine, and human waste filled the ships. Many captives died before seeing land again.
Floating tombs across the Atlantic Sea. Black ancestors trapped with no chance to flee. Chains on their wrists and iron on their feet. Death below deck in unbearable heat.
Over
2 million souls died in the crossing. Families disappeared while oceans kept moving.
The Middle Passage became one of the deadliest systems in human history. Slave ships sailed from European ports to West and Central Africa. Captives were kidnapped through raids, wars, and slave markets organized by traders and local collaborators. African prisoners were branded with hot irons before boarding the ships. Crews forced hundreds of people into spaces too small for human survival. Many ships allowed less than 2 feet of vertical space between shells where people lay chained. Captives stayed locked together day and night without sanitation. Women suffered sexual violence from sailors and ship officers during the voyage. Children cried beside dying relatives with nowhere to escape. Disease spread rapidly because ships carried infected bodies in closed environments. Dysentery caused severe dehydration and bloody diarrhea across the lower decks. Smallpox outbreaks killed entire sections of chained prisoners. Eye infections, fever, measles, and malnutrition weakened thousands more. Sailors often fed captives spoiled food and dirty water to reduce costs. Some captives resisted by refusing food, leading crews to force metal devices into their mouths for feeding.
Punishments included whipping, mutilation, and torture for resistance or rebellion attempts. People who became too weak to survive were sometimes thrown directly into the Atlantic Ocean.
Some slave ship captains murdered sick captives to collect insurance money for lost cargo. Sharks follow.
Slave ship
Captives murdered sick captives to collect insurance money for lost cargo.
Sharks follow slave ships
Because bodies were constantly dumped into the sea. Historical records describe oceans filled with corpses during certain voyages,
Millions suffered terror
while European empires built wealth from slavery.
below deck. There was no light, no fresh air, and no mercy. Black ancestors endured chains, sickness, and suffocation together.
The Atlantic crossing became a graveyard,
Stretching across the ocean, every wave carried another story of pain and loss. Floating tombs across the Atlantic Sea. Black ancestors trapped with no chance to flee. Chains on their wrists and iron on their feet. Death below deck in unbearable heat.
over
2 million souls died in the crossing. Families disappeared while oceans kept moving.
The profits from slave voyages helped expand European banks, ports, and industries. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, and rice plantations depended on enslaved labor in the Americas. Black captives who survived the voyage arrived traumatized, malnourished, and separated from their families forever. Many could not recognize their own languages after being mixed with people from different African nations. Ship logs recorded deaths with numbers instead of names, reducing human lives to property counts. Insurance companies and investors treated enslaved Africans as financial cargo instead of people. Historians estimate that over 12 million Africans were forced onto slave ships during the transatlantic slave trade. More than 2 million died during the Middle Passage alone before reaching land. Countless others died during capture marches inside Africa before boarding ships. Rebellions happened on some voyages. Despite chains and armed guards, captives fought for freedom using tools, fire, or coordinated resistance below deck. Some jumped into the ocean rather than live in slavery. Survivors carried memories of the crossing into future generations across the Americas and Caribbean. The Middle Passage left permanent scars on black history, culture, and family bloodlines. Today museums, historians, and descendants continue documenting the truth about these voyages. The Atlantic Ocean still holds the remains of millions who never returned home. No memorial can fully measure the suffering inside those ships. No number can capture every stolen name and broken family. The Middle Passage was not migration. It was mass kidnapping, forced labor, torture, and death. Floating tombs, chains and darkness, disease and starvation. Black ancestors trapped beneath the Atlantic waves. Millions gone.